Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're doing well. I'm going to be sharing body butter mistakes to avoid when making your own whipped body butter products. We are in body butter season where everyone is trying to make whipped body butter products. So I'm going to share some of these tips that I use, and hopefully you find this helpful if you are planning on making whipped body butter products. So let's jump right in. If this is your first time stopping by, my name is Esther and I make DIY hair and skincare videos. I also sell my products on my website, as well as I have online formulating classes. Everything I mentioned will be linked in the description box, so let's jump right in. So with whipped body butter products, I always say that there's no perfect way to make a whipped body butter product, but I think if you follow certain guidelines, at least it will help you with making a consistently good, stable product. So I'm going to share some of these tips and I hope you find it helpful. So one thing I'll say is making sure you're buying quality plant butters and oils. So if you plan on making a great whipped body butter, the quality of your ingredients really matter. So what do I mean? Sometimes I'll get questions about, oh hey, my body butter, I made it but it has a really bad smell. So I'll ask, where did you purchase your shea butter from or your plant butter from? And it might not be a good supplier. So you want to keep that in mind. If you're buying your ingredients, your plant butters, your oils, any ingredient that you plan on using to make your whipped body butter product, always buy from a good supplier. Even on Amazon, there are some amazing suppliers on there with great reviews. Etsy, there are tons of suppliers. You have to do your own research and see who is closest to you or the ones that you can afford. And something to take note of is the expiration. Don't buy ingredients that are close to expiring. Maybe you buy a plant oil in January and it's expiring in March. I would not suggest using that to make your whipped body butter if you are selling. Now, if it's for personal use, that is fine. So take note of the expiration dates. Make sure you're choosing plant butters, oils that are as fresh as possible, so that way you can make a stable, long-lasting product. The next mistake to avoid is overheating your butters and oils. I see this all the time. Once again, it is your preference to decide how you want to make your own whipped body butter product, but these steps I follow and I always have consistent results with my own whipped body butter products. So with plant butters and oils, especially your hard butters like your shea butter, mango butter, cocoa butter, they all have different melting temperatures, different melting points. So something like cocoa butter, mango butter, it's a very hard butter compared to shea butter. Shea butter melts very easily, melts even when you rub it between your hands, it melts easily. So when you are melting your hard butters, melt the hardest butter first. So if you're using cocoa butter with your shea butter, melt the cocoa butter first, or you can heat that up first. When it's about 80-90% melted, then you can add in your softer butters like your shea butter. And oils, your plant oils are already in liquid form, in a liquid state. They do not need any extra heat. I do see sometimes I see people melting everything together. They put the butters, the oils, and they heat everything together. The liquid plant oils do not need any extra heating. That I feel that's already taken away from the nutrients from those oils. So just start off by heating your hardest butter first, followed by the softest butter. I hope that makes sense. So from hardest to softest, and the key is low steady heat. I don't like to melt my butters in microwaves. I make a water bath. I basically fill a pot with some water and I place my container on low heat, and it's just going to gently melt your hard butters down. The next mistake to avoid is not using an antioxidant or using the wrong antioxidant. So the oils and butters in your body butter products can go rancid over time. So they start to have a funny smell, and sometimes it will even be discoloration. So using an antioxidant like vitamin E helps. Now the problem is when you're using the wrong vitamin E. When I started making my body butter products, I just bought the first vitamin E I saw on Amazon, and that wasn't the right one. It had other added oils like lemon peel oil. It wasn't the right vitamin E. Vitamin E helps to guard against oxidation, and it helps to extend the shelf life of your body butter product, but you want to make sure you're buying the right one. You can check Lotion Crafter. Many suppliers carry this, but you're looking for the vitamin E T50. This is the one that you want to use or add to your body butter products, and the inky name is tocopherol. So regardless of where you're purchasing your vitamin E from the supplier, online, just check to make sure the inky name says tocopherol. That's what's going to help guard against oxidation, and it's going to be a brownish reddish liquid. So you always want to add an antioxidant, not just to your body butter products, but even when you make other oil-based products, your face oils, body oils. Adding an antioxidant goes a long way in extending the shelf life of your body care products. So don't skip this, but just make sure to buy a quality vitamin E. Next is adding or using water-based ingredients without an emulsifier. So if you're adding water-based ingredients to your body butter, like your juices, maybe fruit juices, vegetable juices, aloe vera gel, maybe glycerin, any water-based ingredient, you are going to need an emulsifier to prevent separation. So an emulsifier helps to combine water and oil together to prevent separation. There are many emulsifying waxes. I have videos on this. I'll leave them linked in the description box. But emulsifying waxes like Olivem 1000, Ritamulse, SCG, emulsifying wax NF. So the reason I put this here is I got a question. Someone had asked me what went wrong with their whip body butter product. They had added different juices, carrot juice, I believe papaya juice, aloe vera juice, glycerin. So they added it to their anhydrous, their traditional whip body butter product, mixed everything, whipped it, and after a few days there was separation. So they asked what they did wrong. Many things. A traditional whip body butter is made with just oils and butters, no water added. Now an emulsified body butter is more like a thick cream that has water-based ingredients added and that uses an emulsifier. So I will say is if you plan on making body butter products that include water-based ingredients, then just go ahead and make an emulsified body butter cream and use an emulsifying wax, so that way you don't have separation of your finished product, because that's going to happen. Water and oil separate, they do not combine together if you don't add some sort of emulsifying wax. So if you still want to make some type of traditional whip body butter product, but you want to maybe add some type of hydration, maybe adding glycerin, you are going to need an emulsifying wax of some sort to keep everything together and not having separation. Next is using the wrong preservative. For me personally, I do not use any type of preservative in my whipped body butter products, but I am aware that yes, it is coming in contact with wet hands, but the amount of contact from those wet fingers, it's really not sufficient to affect your body butter in that way, where it's contaminated with maybe bacteria, yeast and mold. But if you want to have peace of mind and you choose to use a preservative, that is perfectly fine. But you want to make sure that you are using the correct preservative for your whipped body butter product. So you want to make sure you're using an oil-based preservative. A preservative example here would be Optifen or Euxil PE90, because these are for your oil-based formulations. A preservative like Liquid Gemo Plus cannot be used because it is meant for your water-based formulations. So regardless of what you choose to do for your own whipped body butter product, if you are more comfortable including a preservative, just make sure that you're using one that is approved for your body products, your body care products, and that it is effective for that formulation. So I'll show you what I mean here. So if you go to a supplier website like Lotion Crafter, looking at Euxil PE90, so this preservative, you want to make sure that it's shown as approved for anhydrous skincare products. If you don't see that when you are shopping or looking for a preservative, if it's not listed anywhere that preservative can be used in anhydrous oil-based products, then it is not going to be effective in your formulation. So regardless of where you're purchasing your preservatives from, just make sure it's approved. So just pay attention on the supplier sites. It's going to tell you if it's an anhydrous approved preservative, and it's also going to give you the usage amount to use for your formula. I'm just going to throw in my little disclaimer here that whichever method or process you feel comfortable doing or using, go on and do that. If you like to use preservatives in your body butter products, go on and do that. And if you don't like to use preservatives, go on and do that as well. That's just my own disclaimer. You have to do what works best for your own product. The last thing I'm going to talk about is overmixing, whipping your body butter. So whipping your body butter is what's going to create that amazing texture, that fluffy, creamy texture. But mixing for too long is also going to create a product with too much air introduced into it, and it's going to deflate quickly over time. So yes, you want the body butter texture to be light and fluffy, but keep in mind that even though when you whip it up initially it's going to be light and fluffy, it's going to firm up over after some time. So depending on the recipe or formula you follow, that's what's going to ultimately determine your finished products, the texture. So what do I mean? If you use a lot of hard butters, let's say cocoa butter, mango butter, you use a high percentage in your body butter, it doesn't matter if you whip for 2 hours. It might be light and fluffy initially, but it's going to firm up to a hard body butter product. So yes, you want to have a guideline for whipping. I always say no more than 10 minutes to 15 minutes as a general guideline. But the combination of ingredients you use, the combination of hard, soft butters is ultimately going to determine your finished product, not necessarily how long you whip. Yes, the whipping helps to create a fluffy texture. So I hope that helps. I hope that makes sense. But if you're looking to make body butter products, you've not made any body butter product before, I will leave my videos linked in the description box. I have a complete step-by-step guide to making whipped body butter products, tips and tricks. I'll leave that linked in the description box. I hope you found this video helpful in your body butter making journey. Let me know if you have questions. Leave it for me in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer your questions. Please don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful, and also please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already, and also turn on your notifications as well, so that way when I upload new videos you don't miss them. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Broken hearts and starting fights, turning truth to lies. Gotta get up, stop wasting time. Yeah, I wanna run off and fly.